And it's Outnumbered Overtime, baby. OT!
Did I tell you she gets excited about that?
I do. I mean, this is so awesome. We have Tom Shalhoub on the couch for the first time. Ainsley Earhardt is joining us. And I know we're going to look at Twitter and Facebook so people can chime in. On Facebook, by the way, we are Outnumbered FNC. You'll see us on Twitter, and they usually put up those handles too, so we'll see those. And by the way, we have a new live chat. If you go to our page, Outnumbered, it's foxnews.com/outnumbered. And when you get to our show page, you'll see the live chat sits right next to the live box you're watching us in right now. And I'm going to kind of man the chat and get some questions and whatnot. But you were going to tell us more, Tom, right at the end of the show. I wanted to know, because, I mean, really and truly, a lot of people around the world know you were up for commercials. And what's it like to be you?
I mean, it's fantastic. But yes, that's how I make my living. I do stand-up, but it's not a great way to make a living. Jedediah and I were talking about it before the show. Yep. It's a very miserable existence out on the road. You become, it's not good for a man's constitution.
100% right.
You know, there's a lot of drinking, a lot of staying at Red Roof Inns.
Oh, I thought you meant freedom.
Well, it is.
For the U.S. Constitution.
This is what I was saying about men. Freedom is bad for men because it gets them into trouble. It's not good getting out there and...
This is why I was telling you need a strong woman, boss you around a little bit.
I believe it. I believe it. But in the context of marriage, that's where it works. But these single guys out there are dealing with the... Women are taking over everything. My industry, comedy. Look at the star comedians of the past few years. It's Amy Poehler. It's Chelsea Handler. It's Amy Schumer. It's Sarah Silverman.
So funny.
Yeah.
Melissa
Jimmy
McCarthy.
Fallon. Okay, so
you're Melissa McCarthy.
Yes. But the women are taking off, and the guys are having a tough time of it out there.
Well, so what does that mean for your industry, though? Because, one of the things I've noticed, they have, we mentioned Melissa McCarthy. They now have so many female comedians who are gold star level that they can make entire movies with them. Bridesmaids.
They love it.
They don't even need reads anymore.
The dirty talking gal is the biggest thing in comedy. Now, people love it. They love the foul-mouthed girl who's like going crazy.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
See,
it's huge.
how do you... Gosh, could you imagine? I always think, what would my parents say if they heard me speak that way? I don't know how these women do it.
Yeah.
Would you be able to do it?
It gets raw.
Yes.
It gets really raw.
See, I grew up in Brooklyn, so a lot of members of my family, the women do speak that way. So, my 100-year-old grandma greeted us at her birthday table with a curse that we all...
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
We're online right now. You can tell us
anything goes. You can talk about sex, anything goes.
Anything goes. She definitely, you talk about me being always,
Can you say it here? They won't bleep us.
She's out there with it.
No, I'll get in trouble, but just trust me, she's a Brooklyn girl and she's 100 years old, so she's not shy.
That must be really freeing, though. You can really be yourself at all times.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I gotta rein it in.
You're going to have to tell us, the audience, something about yourself, because we've all done it. Something about yourself that the audience might not know.
Oh, I like it.
All right. Should we keep it G-rated?
You don't have to. Wow. Do whatever you want. Wait, the producer's like, no.
Well,
now my mind has gone horrible places.
my
Finally, Sandra.
I love roses, and I had a rose garden growing up.
Oh, wow, that is G-rated.
That's really G-rated, I know.
G-rated.
Let's go. Maybe something a little bit not so G-rated is that when I'm around my girlfriends, we can talk very openly about our personal lives. I don't feel comfortable doing it on air the way that, an Amy Schumer does it.
Yeah,
because
Amy Schumer,
Amy Schumer, whatever her name is. Because I love her show, and I'm appalled that she can say that stuff and not worry about the repercussions. I mean, also my faith is a big part of my life, so I just think I would want to be a good role model to the little girls.
But you do get down and dirty with the girls. Is it like Sex in the City? A lot of guys are like, that's not the way girls talk when they're alone. Do they?
Yes, they do talk like that.
My friends don't. But you know what?
Your grandmother does. But
I hang out with mostly guys, so my grandmother would be the racy one on Sex in the City for sure. At 100. She, by the way, for 100th birthday, she's like, I want to go bowling. She's about this big, and she's, Brooklyn girl. She's like, I want to go bowling. My mom was like, whatever you want to do. But I hang out with guys a lot, so I'm used to a lot of crazy talk. Guys don't hold back at all. But I see what you're saying. You're not a comedian.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a different role. I feel like when you're a comedian, if you want to do good comedy, you got to put it all out there. You are one of my favorites. Gerard Small's a great guy. They just sort of throw it all out on the table.
Oh, well, speaking of
you got to do it.
Something that we don't know about you, sir.
It's something.
What's a secret?
Well, I'm not that complex, and I do the thing is, a lot of people see me, I work clean, my act is clean.
Yeah.
But it's not because I'm holding anything back. It's just that that's the way my life is. I don't have any salacious details. If I did, I would probably share them.
But But that's your brand. You're the comedian whose cheeks we all want to pinch.
Well,
I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying.
You know what? I'm looking at the live chat right now, and a lot of people are asking, I mean, they want to talk about the news.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean, I guess, that they don't love us. But a lot of people are really upset right now that the president was not stronger. And Jedediah, you talked about that.
Yeah.
What do you think people want to see?
I think they want to see presidential leadership. There's been a huge leadership vacuum in this administration. They're waiting for someone to come out. I mean, I was thinking about what the president said in relation to Israel and Hamas. Where is your strong condemnation of Hamas? Where is that? We're waiting for that. We're waiting for a president that comes out and shows some leadership on the international stage. And I think people are hungry. And even when Barack Obama comes out and maybe is a little bit stronger than he typically is, it's not strong enough.
Well, you know why?
It's not
you know
strong
why?
enough
It's
for
the
us.
tone. He had that. You know when you're on the playground and you see a parent, a mother or a father, and the kids are misbehaving, and they're like, and the parents are getting frustrated.
Right.
That's what he was like. He was like a frustrated parent, but you knew there was nothing behind it. Well, you know when the parent says, no ice cream for you, and you know there's going to be ice cream later.
Exactly.
By the tone.
All talk and no action.
And so when he was saying, Britt Hume was so smart the way he said when he said that he looks for that kind of phrase when a president says Russia is going to continue to isolate itself, meaning he's not part of the equation. Like Russia is isolating itself, and then Putin sees that and he says, "Okay, check, I can do whatever."
But Tom, and I say this to Jedediah as well. To your point, while you might say that people want more leadership, they want more action from the president, Harris led the show with a poll that said that the American people really don't want to get more involved in Ukraine.
I think there's a difference between leadership and consistency on policy and us actually putting boots on the ground and being involved. I think they want the president to make a statement where we are all clear about where we stand. If we're talking about sanctions, define those sanctions. Define how is this actually going to be different from the sanctions we had previously. I think people are hesitant about our actual military intervention in terms of our aid as well, because where do those weapons wind up then? Are those weapons then used against us in some capacity a year down the road? So I think there's a slight distinction there.
Well, and the Politico poll did not ask the question. You can hear the live chat is just like cooking. It's singing. One of the questions that Politico poll did not ask is, well, would you have a different opinion about our engagement, even militarily, if in fact we had a foreign policy that was a little easier to decipher? And, the criticism of the administration would be, well, as you said on the show, the president didn't sell well what his foreign policy is with regard to Ukraine, which is why, President Putin can come out with a statement like he did within the past hour. Well, I'd consider taking it off the battlefield and into the negotiating room, and he can say whatever he wants.
And didn't that poll show that Americans are in favor of getting involved if it's going to disrupt our national security or put our national security at risk? And what was it, 63% of Americans?
It absolutely showed that.
So maybe in this case, we do think that this is going to hurt national security. If they're shooting down commercial airplanes, who's to say they're not going to do that to us or to an American plane that flies over to Europe? And one of our loved ones is on that flight.
Terry Eel is upset. Why do the women have to wear such short skirts on camera?
It's mandatory.
Tom,
we have to.
You answer that one.
Wait a minute. I think it's great because, there might be a guy like me who's flipping through the channels, and, it's hard to catch someone's attention.
Careful.
Careful,
you're married.
Listen, if a set of legs is going to get me to stop and then end up staying for the news, why not?
A set?
I
you mean four sets?
Four sets of legs.
So, Angel Velasquez, and I'm reading from Facebook right now, says, don't be a hater on the sexy women. Thank you, Angel.
Yeah, I also want to point out something that happens. I don't know if you guys can catch this. Can you catch this if I stand?
Jedediah, you just
stand up.
I was like, where's she going with
this? Because this skirt, look at the length of this skirt. We sit down and you cross your legs, and this happens. So I think people are under a different, impression of what they actually look like. And sometimes it's just a matter of us sitting on a couch. But, I don't know.
A lady in my building stopped me as I was going to work the other day, and she said, I just want to let you know, I watch Fox News all the time. And I love this lady. And she said, but why do you all wear such short skirts?
Really?
And
this is a thing?
I'm like you. Well, they come to our knees, and, they just kind of ride up.
Sit.
But honestly, though, I've never really thought, I don't know. My family, my parents were always worried about the upper area versus the lower area. Yeah. So the legs really have never bothered me. It's more of just kind of, but here I am with both.
No, you look lovely.
Fabulous.
Darlene Fucciarelli writes on Facebook, love your program, would like to see some of men from all walks of life and incomes. I'm not really sure what that means. Tom, I don't think
I think I might be one of those guys. What do you think? I'm making a good living here?
Yeah. Tom just laid it out. He basically makes no living on the road.
He doesn't make a living with the comedy.
I'm scraping it together. You know, most people in show business or in media, I think there's a lot of people. You find it, there's two different schools of thought. When you get together, you're at a party, you're talking to relatives. They either think, when they see you on TV, they either think you're filthy rich, or they think they say like, oh, so you're trying to break in? And I'm like, no, I'm not poor. I'm not this kid who's just looking for opportunity. I mean, I'm out there making a living. But then other people think if you're in a commercial or if they see you on TV, they think like, wow, so how much do you make? $4 million a year? And it's like, what are you, crazy?
Wow.
No one really knows.
So how much do you make?
I mean,
isn't this the tell-all?
You know what?
I want to know.
This thing about rich and poor, it's like we all have just enough. Doesn't it seem that way? It's like all this war on the rich. Do you ever go over a rich person's house? It's not that great.
Oh, no.
They don't have it that great. Their flat screen is about as flat as mine. And, you know, whatever. I mean, so what? Maybe they're eating the fancy nuts and I'm eating the Planters.
Yeah, but they have 15 of them. That's it. You know what, though? That brings up a good point. You hear Democrats particularly talk about kind of hating the rich, but when you look at how many of them in Congress are attorneys and make over $600,000 a year without any other benefit.
Elizabeth Warren.
Harry Reid lives in the Ritz-Carlton.
Right. I mean, any other financial benefit coming from the jobs that they hold in Washington. I mean, these are some of the richest people on the planet. So I'm not really sure why they invite voters to hate on the rich. And you brought it up during the show. These are the people who are creating jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like a separate set of rules for them. That's why people can't stand politicians left and right anymore. Because we feel like, you know, these guys in D.C., these gals in D.C., they think there's a separate set of rules for them than regular people. Like, why are you special because you're inside some political circle? No, we're all in the same boat, so stop trying to redistribute my money. You want to redistribute money? Redistribute your money. Donate your money to a charity. Do something productive with it. That's fine. It's your choice, and many people out here will as well. But don't steal my money in the name of government charity, and then it gets used and abused and wasted. That's nonsense.
And I don't care about fairness. I don't even care about if it's fair. If it actually worked,
if
redistributing, if taking money from rich people and trying to distribute it, if it actually worked, I would say like, yeah, why not do it? But it doesn't work. We've shown over and over that it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, and it kills incentive, because then what are you aspiring to? What are these kids going to say? Well, I'm going to grow up one day and I'm going to be really rich so that someone can steal all of my money. Yay! No, there's no incentive to move up the ladder anymore if you're penalized for it.
We should be encouraging wealth and encouraging prosperity, not demonizing it.
Vivek Saxenza, I think that's how you say her name, says, men turning into women.
Uh-oh.
That was your line.
Yeah. She agrees, right?
I can't tell. She just thought it was funny.
So maybe that's her. She's writing a song about it.
All right.
Men turning into women.
Tom Shalou. Did I just mispronounce it? So that's been like the thing. Like, when would it actually happen? And now it has. When are you on Red Eye again?
I don't know. I'm going away for a month. I'm doing the Edinburgh Festival, so I'm going to be, if anyone's in Scotland, come and see me. I'm there for a month.
Cool. All right, we'll see you there. Yeah. Ainsley, good to have you today.
I'll be back tomorrow.
I know, we can't wait. We cannot wait. All right, we will see you tomorrow on the TV version of Outnumbered. This has been Outnumbered OT, baby. Thank you for all of your comments. You know what? The live chat is spinning. So we can see people talking to each other.
No, we didn't get to so many other things.
We didn't get to so many.
We'll be
I can't wait to get to it. I didn't bring my device with me. I left it in the other room.
You can't roll without a device if you're going to join us on the
Thank you, everyone.
All right, thanks for being here. See you tomorrow.
Bye.